Hey there, hoop fans. It's Kokan, your go-to guru for all things roundball, fondly known to the community as Tips and Streams. We're not just dribbling around here. We're talking serious plays and epic showdowns. Today, we're diving deep into the heart of the NBA, breaking down some of the most anticipated matchups that are about to set the court on fire. But wait, before we jump into the action, do me a favor. Slam dunk that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Why? Because you don't want to miss out on our expert analysis, predictions, and those secret top picks that might just give you bragging rights among your friends. All right, fellow ballers, let's lace up and dive in. The first today's prediction is for matchup between Charlotte Hornets and Indiana Pacers. Tonight's showdown in Indianapolis at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, featuring the Charlotte Hornets and the Indiana Pacers, promises to be a thrilling display of basketball prowess. With a home court advantage, the Pacers, boasting a 13-12 record, are eager to rebound from their recent 4-game skid. The Hornets, facing challenges on the road with a 3-8 record and an overall 7-18, are equally determined to halt their 5-game losing streak. The Pacers step onto the court as clear favorites, leading the league with an impressive 127.4 points per game and showcasing top-notch field goal efficiency at 50.5%. This scoring flair, combined with the Hornets' defensive struggles, conceding an average of 120.7 points and ranking 25th in defense, hints at a high-octane scoring battle. Indiana's standout, Tyrese Halliburton, averaging 24.9 points and 9 assists, is poised to capitalize on Charlotte's defensive vulnerabilities. Despite their hurdles, Charlotte has a history of standing tall versus Indiana, with a 6-2 record in their last 8 faceoffs and a strong 6-1-1 against the spread record versus them. However, their recent road woes and defensive issues might be a significant handicap in this clash. Both teams have a knack for high-scoring games. The Pacers and their rivals have racked up over 249 points in 17 games this season, while the Hornets have crossed this threshold in 3 encounters. The game's over-under is pegged at 249 points, with Indiana favored by 10 points. Injury updates are crucial in this matchup. Charlotte's Gordon Hayward and Miles Bridges are probable to play, but LaMelo Ball remains sidelined. The Pacers have concerns about Miles Turner and Jalen Smith, both questionable for the game. Given these dynamics, the Pacers, with their home court and offensive edge, seem poised for the win. However, the Hornets, despite their defensive issues and inconsistent scoring away from home, have historically matched up well against Indiana, potentially making them a formidable challenger. I'm skeptical about the Hornets, but I'm also hesitant to bet heavily on the Pacers, given their ranking of 30th in points allowed, field goal percentage allowed, and three-point percentage allowed. These stats can't be overlooked, despite the Hornets' poor away performance. This game isn't one I'd wager on, but if I had to pick, I'd lean towards the Hornets beating the 10.5-point spread. The next prediction is for the match between Utah Jazz and Cleveland Cavaliers. In the Hoops heartland of Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, Cleveland, Ohio, the hardwood is primed for a riveting clash between the Utah Jazz and the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavs, sporting a solid 15-12 ledger, are eager to continue their dominance on their turf, extending their 3-game victory parade. Meanwhile, the Jazz, with a 10-17 tally, are looking to keep their recent momentum alive, having clinched victory in 3 of their last 4 outings. Cleveland steps into the fray as the hot pick, pegged at 6.5 points. The game's total point spread hovers around 227. Expectations are high for a nail-biter, with predictions leaning towards the Cavs outshining the Jazz at 119-109. The Cavs have been turning heads, especially on their home court, reinforcing their status as the crowd's pick. However, the Jazz, shaking off an unsteady season start, are hitting their stride, posing a formidable challenge. Stat-wise, the teams paint a contrasting picture. The Cavs rank 23rd in points per game at 112 and 9th in points conceded per game at 111.9, while the Jazz score 112.2 points per game, placing them 22nd, and allow 119.5 points at 24th. On the rebounding front, the Jazz boast a commanding lead, securing 3rd place in the league with 46, 5 boards per game, overshadowing the Cavs' 14th place with 44.1. The Jazz's field goal efficiency stands at 45.1%, ranking them 27th, and they let opponents shoot at 48.4%, 20th in the league. In contrast, the Cavs net 47.5% of their field goals, 12th in the league, and restrict their adversaries to 45.7%, securing the 6th spot. Both squads are almost neck and neck in three-pointers, with the Jazz sinking 13.2 per game and the Cavs 11.9. Key individual showdowns might tip the scales. The Jazz bank on Lauri Markkanen and Colin Sexton to leave a mark, while the Cavs count on Donovan Mitchell, a top-tier thief with 1.8 steals per game, and Jarrett Allen, third in field goal percentage at a mighty 67.2%. Wrapping up, while the Jazz's upswing is notable, the Cavs' unwavering form, especially on home ground, tips the scales in their favor. They're the stronger squad, yet the buzz around Donovan Mitchell's potential trade can't be shrugged off. Such chatter can ripple through the team and the atmosphere. Yes, the Cavs have the upper hand and home advantage, but with the club's current focus seemingly split between trade talks and gameplay, I'm leaning towards the Jazz to beat the odds. My money's on Utah Jazz with an extra 7 points. The next prediction is for the match between Miami Heat and Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic are lighting up the scoreboard with a stellar 16-9 tally, making waves especially on their home turf. Their home court dominance is evident with an 11-2 record. They're dropping buckets at an astonishing rate, averaging 119.8 points per game on their home floor. Their shooting game is on fire, hitting 50.2% overall and sinking 37.1% from downtown. This offensive juggernaut is outpacing rivals by a notable 12.9 points in their home games. Meanwhile, the Miami Heat, sporting a decent 15-12 record, are up against a tough opponent, particularly feeling the absence of their ace, Jimmy Butler. Yet, they've shown grit and determination. Players like Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo have risen to the occasion, with Herro expected to lead the charge with 21 points, 5 boards, and 4 dimes. The Heat's game plan seems to be slowing down the pace to counter the Magic's offensive surge. Stat-wise, the Magic are ahead in shooting, grabbing boards, and dishing assists. But don't sleep on the Heat's defense. They're masters at causing turnovers and drawing fouls. Looking back, these teams have always been neck and neck. Last season, the Heat led 3-1, but the games in Orlando were split, each stretching into overtime. This rivalry hints at another Nile-beater. Betting trends show Orlando's home court prowess and Miami's tenacity as underdogs create intriguing dynamics. The Magic are often successful on the money line, while the Heat excel at covering the spread, especially on the road against winning teams. All things considered, the scales tip towards the Orlando Magic leveraging their home advantage and offensive prowess for a win. Butler's absence might be a turning point for the Heat. To wrap it up, my prediction favors the Orlando Magic, with their home dominance and offensive efficiency being crucial. It's shaping up to be a tight game, but the Magic's form and stats give them the upper hand. My B is on the Orlando Magic to triumph and beat the -5 point spread. The next prediction is for the match between Minnesota Timberwolves and Philadelphia 76ers. Tonight, the hardwood of the Wells Fargo Center is set to sizzle as the Minnesota Timberwolves lock horns with the Philadelphia 76ers. The Timberwolves, flexing an imposing 25 record, including a remarkable 9-4 on the road, are surfing a wave of momentum on a 3-game hot streak. They're gearing up to challenge the 76ers, who sport a robust 18-8 tally and boast a formidable 10-4 record on their home turf. The 76ers, tipped with a 3-point advantage, are expected to turn up the heat in a game with an over-under at a whopping 226 points. They bring a fierce offensive game, dropping an average of 122.2 points per matchup, a stat that ranks them 4th in the league. On defense, they're no slouches either, allowing 110.9 points per game and standing tall as the 7th-ranked defense. Their rebounding game is top-notch, clinching the 5th spot both in boards grabbed and allowed per game. Meanwhile, the Timberwolves are a force to reckon with. Offensively, they're 18th in the league, netting 113.5 points per game. But it's their defensive acumen that really shines, leading the league by yielding just 105.9 points per game. They're also a dominant presence on the glass, ranking impressively in rebounds snagged and limited. Key players to keep an eye on are Karl Anthony Towns of the Timberwolves, a sharpshooter hitting remarkable percentages across the field, three-point line, and free throw line. On the 76ers side, Joel Embiid is lighting up the scoreboard, leading in points per game this season. Injury updates could tilt the scales in this face-off. The Timberwolves are missing Jalen Clark, while the 76ers have concerns over Robert Covington and Marcus Morris, with Nicholas Batum out of action. Recent form reveals the Timberwolves' dominance, with a sterling 9-1 record in their last 10, while the 76ers have held strong with a 7-3 record. However, the Timberwolves have shown cracks as road underdogs against Eastern Conference foes after a win, losing 14 straight in such scenarios. Given these dynamics, the 76ers, with their explosive offense and solid home performance, seem poised for the win. But don't sleep on the Timberwolves' defensive edge and recent momentum. In a nail-biter, I'm tipping a 76ers win with the total points sailing over the 226 mark, signaling a high-octane showdown. Betting-wise, I'm backing the 76ers to triumph and beat the spread. My wager? The Philadelphia 76ers at a minus 2.5. The next prediction is for the match between New York Knicks and Brooklyn Nets. Tonight's electrifying face-off at Barclays Center features a high-stakes battle between the New York Knicks and the Brooklyn Nets, each determined to make a mark in the Eastern Conference. The Knicks, boasting a record of 15-11, are gearing up for a showdown with the Nets, who are hot on their heels with a 13-13 record. The Knicks enter the game as narrow one-point favorites, setting the stage for a neck-and-neck contest, with an anticipated total score hovering around 233.5 points. This prediction, echoing the consensus of various expert sources, underscores the evenly matched nature of this duel. Fresh from their triumph over the Lakers, with a hard-fought 114-109 victory, the Knicks have been on a roll, demonstrating sharp shooting skills with a 47.7% success rate from the field and a remarkable 87.0% precision from the free throw line. Their recent three-point shooting has been noteworthy too, hitting the mark 38.0% of the time. On the defensive front, they've been formidable, limiting rivals to a 47.8% shooting efficiency. Yet, their defense has shown some vulnerability of late, conceding an average of 121.0 points in their last 10 games, a slight uptick from their season average of 111.7 points. This slight dip contrasts with their season-long scoring prowess of 114.5 points per game. Meanwhile, Brooklyn is on a mission to break their three-game losing skid. Playing on their home turf, they've been formidable, boasting a 10-1 record against the spread in home games. The Nets are a force in rebounding, leading the league with an average of 47. 0 rebounds per game, but they lag in limiting opponents' rebounds, ranking 21st. Offensively, they average 116.1 points per game, earning them the 11th spot in the league, with a particular strength in three-point shooting, where they rank second in percentage. Their defense, however, lags behind, ranking 19th and allowing an average of 115.1 points per game. Considering their past encounters and Brooklyn's impressive home court record, the scales tip slightly in favor of the Nets. Their prowess in rebounding and three-point shooting could tip the scales in this evenly matched contest. Additionally, their knack for beating the spread, especially as underdogs, bolsters their edge. In sum, given the Knicks' recent defensive challenges and the Nets' formidable home record and rebounding capabilities, the prediction leans towards a Nets triumph. They're anticipated to beat the spread in a match likely to tally below the set over-under line. So, for tonight's clash, I'm placing my bet on the Brooklyn Nets emerging victorious. The next prediction is for the match between Denver Nuggets and Toronto Raptors. Tonight's basketball extravaganza features the Denver Nuggets, flaunting an impressive 18-10 season tally and a 7-8 away record, going head-to-head with the Toronto Raptors, who hold the 11-15 mark, including a solid 8-7 at home. The stage is set at Scotiabank Arena for a riveting clash of basketball philosophies and strengths. The Nuggets, under the towering presence of Nikola Jokic, with averages of 26.4 points, 12.3 rebounds, and 9.4 assists per game, have emerged as a formidable opponent. Jokic's prowess in dominating both ends of the court is pivotal in this matchup. The Nuggets' offensive thrust is further bolstered by Jamal Murray and Michael Porter, expected to contribute 18 and 16 points respectively. Conversely, the Raptors are gearing up behind Pascal Siakam, averaging 21.2 points per game. His crucial role in both scoring and thwarting the Nuggets' potent offense cannot be overstated. Scotty Barnes and OG Anunoby, known for their adaptability, are potential game changers. Barnes, with a predicted 17 points and 6 rebounds, and Anunoby's anticipated 15 points, are crucial for Toronto's aspirations. The Nuggets, riding high with 4 wins in their last 5 games, including a dominant 130-104 triumph over the Mavericks, seem to have the momentum. The Raptors, though victorious against the Hornets recently, have had a fluctuating performance lately. In terms of head-to-head stats and performances in Toronto, the Raptors' familiarity with Scotiabank Arena could be a strategic boon, having won and covered the spread 3 times in their last 5 home encounters with the Nuggets. Taking into account team dynamics, player performances, and the home court factor, the scales tip slightly in favor of the Denver Nuggets. Their potent offense, spearheaded by Jokic, combined with recent form, gives them an edge over the Raptors. Nonetheless, Toronto's tenacity, especially on their home turf, is a factor that could lead to a closely contested and thrilling match. In summary, anticipate a fiercely competitive game, but with the Nuggets in superior form, I foresee them clinching victory on the road, propelled by another stellar performance from Jokic. The next prediction is for the match between Los Angeles Lakers and Chicago Bulls. Tonight's showdown on the hardwood is a classic East meets West face-off. The Los Angeles Lakers, boasting a 15-12 record, are eager to bounce back after a rough outing against the Knicks, where their shooting accuracy hovered around 42.4%. Anthony Davis has been lighting up the scoreboard, consistently racking up impressive points and rebounds. Yet the Lakers' game has been a roller coaster, with 3 losses in their recent quartet of matches. On the flip side, the Chicago Bulls, with a tally of 11-17, are riding high after toppling the 76ers. They've been on an upward trajectory, securing victories in 6 of their last 9 contests. Kobe White has been the catalyst, showcasing his versatility in scoring, rebounding, and dishing out assists. Notably, the Bulls have been acing the turnover game with a league-leading low of just 11.9 per match. Digging into the numbers, the Lakers are dropping an average of 113.8 points per game, with a commendable field goal rate of 48.6%. Their defense is nothing to scoff at either, ranking among the top 8 in limiting points per 100 possessions. However, their three-point game is somewhat shaky, averaging 34.8%. The Bulls, while not as dominant overall, have shown a noticeable uptick in scoring efficiency recently, with DeMar DeRozan averaging 24.1 points and 6.6 assists this month. The injury list might throw a wrench in the Lakers' plans, with LeBron James and Anthony Davis being question marks for the game. The Bulls will miss Zach LaVine, a key offensive player. Considering the Lakers' history of bouncing back against Eastern Conference rivals after a loss, and their knack for covering the spread in road games against Central Division teams post-defeat, they appear to have a marginal advantage. But the Bulls' current form and their home turf prowess make them formidable contenders. Wrapping up, it's a tight race between the Lakers' defensive stronghold and the Bulls' recent surge. The Lakers' resilience post-losses and their defensive clout might tip the scales in their favor, but it's expected to be a nail-biter, with the Bulls likely covering the plus 5-point spread. The next prediction is for the match between Atlanta Hawks and Houston Rockets. Tonight's showdown at the Toyota Center is a high-flying affair as the Houston Rockets, riding high with a stellar 11-1 home record, go head-to-head with the Atlanta Hawks, who've been hitting turbulence with a 7-8 record on the road. The stage is set for a riveting contest, where the Rockets aim to extend their 11-game winning streak on home turf against the Hawks. The Rockets, entering as 3-point favorites, boast a formidable defense, sitting second in the league for clamping down on points and leading the pack in stifling opponent assists and 3-point shots. They're powered offensively by Alperen Sengun, who's dropping 19.9 points and grabbing 8.9 rebounds per game, with Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet also making key plays. Their well-rounded game plan shines brightest at home. On the flip side, the Hawks bring serious heat, averaging a scorching 122.7 points per game, the third best in the league, fueled largely by Trae Young's explosive play. Young, netting 28 points and dishing out 10.8 assists per game, is the Hawks' linchpin. But their defensive game raises eyebrows, lagging in points allowed and opponent shooting accuracy. Digging into recent trends, the Rockets are solid bets against the spread, particularly as favorites, while the Hawks falter, more so in away games. The over-under points to a high-scoring affair, yet the Rockets' defensive mastery could lead to a more evenly matched game. All signs point to a Rockets victory, buoyed by their dominant home game and steadier record against the spread. The big question, can the Hawks' dynamic offense break through the Rockets' ironclad defense? The game might be tighter than anticipated, but with home court and defensive superiority, the Rockets have the upper hand. My prediction, the Rockets clinch it, but their defensive lockdown and the game's pace will keep the scoring on the lower end. Wrapping it up, for tonight's epic battle, I'm betting on the Atlanta Hawks and Houston Rockets, keeping the total points under 235. The next prediction is for the match between Los Angeles Clippers and Dallas Mavericks. In tonight's hoop showdown at the American Airlines Center, the Los Angeles Clippers and Dallas Mavericks are set to deliver a spectacular Western Conference face-off. The Clippers, on a hot streak with a 9-1 record in their recent games, have been dominating the hardwood. They're not just winning, they're outplaying the odds, covering the spread in most games, and boasting a stellar 76.2% win rate as the moneyline favorite. Offensively, they're on fire, exceeding their average scores and showcasing top-notch shooting efficiency, 6th in the league. Defensively, they're just as tough, ranking 5th in limiting their opponent's shooting success. They bring a powerhouse combination of offense and defense to the game. The Mavericks, however, present a contrasting picture at home. With a 5-7 record against the spread in their own arena and a struggle as underdogs, their performance has been unpredictable. They rank decently in scoring efficiency, 14th in the league, but their defensive game isn't as strong, with their opponent's shooting accuracy ranking 21st. Facing the Clippers' offensive strength, this could be a critical weakness. Betting trends hint at a high-scoring game. The over has been frequent in games with these teams, especially with the Mavericks at home and the Clippers away. The current over-under of 241.5 points mirrors this trend, though it's a bit higher than the Clippers' recent totals. Star players like Kawhi Leonard and Luka Doncic are expected to be game-changers, with Leonard's versatility and Doncic's scoring and playmaking abilities being key. Given all this, the Clippers seem to have the upper hand. Their recent form and superiority in both offense and defense could sway the game their way in this tight matchup. So, the bet is on the Clippers not just to win, but to beat the spread too. Their current form and all-court prowess make them the safer choice. I'm backing the Clippers to triumph and cover the minus 3-point line. The last prediction for today is for the matchup between Boston Celtics and Sacramento Kings. Tonight's basketball showdown promises to be a high-voltage affair as the mighty Boston Celtics, boasting an impressive 25 record, gear up to take on the formidable Sacramento Kings, who have carved out a solid 16-9 record at the Golden One Center. The Celtics, renowned for their sharpshooting, are dropping an average of 117.6 points per game and hitting nearly half their shots with a 47.8% field goal percentage. Their prowess extends beyond the arc, too, sinking 37.2% from downtown. Defensively, they're an impenetrable wall, constraining their rivals to just 108.5 points per game and stifling their shooting to a mere 44.5%. The Kings, on their turf, are no pushovers. With a robust 10-3 home record, they're scoring an average of 118.2 points per game, shooting with a precision of 47.1%. They dominate the perimeter defense, limiting their opponents to only 37.8% from the three-point line. Star player De'Aaron Fox is on a scoring spree, averaging a whopping 30.1 points per game, while Domantas Sabonis is a consistent double-double machine, chalking up 18.9 points and 12.3 rebounds per game. A key twist in this matchup is the Celtics' back-to-back games, coming hot on the heels of a grueling overtime defeat to the Warriors. This rapid succession of games might prove to be a hurdle, particularly against the Kings' youthful and dynamic squad that excels on their home ground. The Celtics' reliance on three-pointers, which wavered in their last game's overtime, could also be a decisive factor tonight. Considering these aspects, the forecast points to a nail-biting face-off, with the Kings slightly tipped for victory due to their home court dominance and the Celtics' potential weariness from consecutive games. The Kings' youthful energy and strong home performance position them as a tough challenge for the battle-tested Celtics. In conclusion, the prediction is for the Sacramento Kings to narrowly clinch the win, leveraging their home advantage and exploiting the Celtics' recent demanding schedule. My bet is on the Sacramento Kings, taking them with a minus 1.5 point spread. All right, hoopheads, that's the buzzer for today's predictions. Big thanks for rolling with us. If you're vibing with our picks, slam that subscribe button and get on board. Catch you on the court tomorrow. Peace.